You know, a big part of the problem was Russia for many, many years, long before Putin said you could never have NATO involved with Ukraine. Now, they've said that. That's been, like, written in stone. And somewhere along the line, Biden said, no, they should be able to join NATO. Well, then Russia has somebody right on their doorstep, and I could understand their feeling about that.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
С нынешним президентом США у меня всегда были деловые, исключительно деловые, но в то же время прагматические отношения и доверительные, я бы сказал. И я не могу не согласиться с ним в том, что если бы он был президентом, если бы у него в 2020 году не украли победу, то, может быть, и не было бы того кризиса на Украине, который возник в 2022 году.
And addressing the global challenges.
One thing very important, I really would like to be able to meet with President Putin soon and get that war ended. And that's not from the standpoint of economy or anything else. It's from the standpoint of millions of lives are being wasted. Beautiful young people are being shot in the battlefield. You know, the bullet, very flat land, as I said, and the bullet goes, there's no hiding, and a bullet, the only thing going to stop the bullet is a human body. And you have to see, I've seen pictures of what's taken place. It's a carnage, and we really have to stop that war. That war is horrible. But no, I would very much like to help out. One of the things we're looking at with President Zelenskiy is having the security of their assets. They have assets underground, rare earth and other things, but primarily rare earth. We had a very good talk with, people didn't really know what President Putin's thoughts were, but I think I can say with great confidence he wants to see it ended also. That's good. And we're going to work toward getting it ended, and as fast as possible.
We want, like you, a sovereign and prosperous Ukraine. But we must start by recognizing that returning to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders is an unrealistic objective. Chasing this illusionary goal will only prolong the war and cause more suffering. A durable peace for Ukraine must include robust security guarantees to ensure that the war will not begin again.
Secretary General, you have said repeatedly that Ukraine needs to be put in a position of strength.
So there is, let's say, a path there where we have to make sure that talks are successful, and it is important that we get to a peace deal, and at the same time to make sure that Putin understands that the West is united, that Ukraine is getting all the support it needs to prevail. That is very important, but also that he understands that we will only conclude those talks when we are absolutely assured that the outcome can be sustained, that the outcome is enduring, is lasting.
Так или иначе, конечно же, Украина будет участвовать в переговорах. Конечно же, будет и двусторонний российско-американский трек этого диалога, и трек, который, конечно же, будет связан с вовлеченностью Украины.
Maybe there is something at the table, but not on our table. So I didn't see any invitations, envoys, and etc. from Ukraine to meet with some other envoys. But anyway, envoy, this is that national. I mean, this it's security advisor, and so we don't have any papers, any invitations.
And I've been saying that we're going to do what we have to do. And I think I have the power to end this war. And I think it's going very well. But today I heard, oh, well, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal. I could have made a deal for Ukraine that would have given them almost all of the land, everything, almost all of the land, and no people would have been killed, and no city would have been demolished, and not one dome would have been knocked down. Well, we have a situation where we haven't had elections in Ukraine, where we have martial law, essentially martial law in Ukraine, where the leader in Ukraine, I mean, I hate to say it, but he's down at 4% approval rating.
Якщо хтось хоче мене поміняти прямо зараз, то прямо зараз ніяк не вийде. Я би так сказав. Друга історія, раз вже говоримо про 4%, ми бачили цю дезінформацію, ми розуміємо, що вона йде від Росії, ми розуміємо це, і у нас є докази, що ці цифри, вони обговорюються між Америкою і Росією.
Це була дуже важлива Мюнхенська конференція, було багато зустрічей, в принципі.
Ну, тобто, на жаль, президент Трамп з великою повагою до нього відносимося як до лідера народу, який ми дуже поважаємо, американський народ, який нас постійно підтримує. На жаль, живе в цьому дезінформаційному просторі.
Гарантії безпеки, які були чітко прописані. Чи ми можемо
Спасибо большое. Это очень актуальный вопрос. И я вот... Президент Трамп, вот если говорить о заявлениях, вы упомянули расширение НАТО, он первый, да и пока, по-моему, единственный из западных лидеров, кто публично и громко сказал, что одной из первопричин украинской ситуации явилась нахрапистая линия предыдущей администрации по втягиванию Украины в НАТО. Такого никто из западных лидеров никогда не произносил. А он несколько раз эту мысль провел. Это уже сигнал, что он не без проблем, но проблемы будут всегда. Но главное встречаться, слушать и слышать.
$200 billion more than Europe, and Europe's money is guaranteed. Biden never tried. Europe has failed to bring peace, and Zelensky probably maybe he wants to keep the gravy train going. I don't know what's the problem, but he hasn't been able. He's very upset that he wasn't invited. He could have come if he wanted to, but that he wasn't invited to Saudi Arabia. But he's been working for 3 years. There's never been even meetings or phone calls to stop this war. It's a horrible thing.
President,
Got a good concert.
Zelenskiy, thank you so much.
Very proud of you, what you've done. Right in there,
President Zelensky of Ukraine a dictator. Do you think that President Putin of Russia is also a dictator?
I think that President Putin and President Zelensky are going to have to get together because you know what? We want to stop killing millions of people.
restored? As President Trump said, there won't be any more problems. We've seen the U.S.
Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid 60% of the total effort, and it was through, like the U.S., loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money. To be clear.
If you believe that, it's okay with me.
Mr. President,
If they get their money back, we don't, and now we do. But you know that's only fair.
will allow a truce to take place. verification of that truce, and then a peace agreement.
I mean, not soon, but I would be certainly, if this all gets settled out, which I think it will, sure, I would go there.
On the 9th of
And
May?
you'd come here too.
On the 9th of May on the Red Square?
I don't know the 9th of May, no, I think that's pretty soon. But no, at the appropriate time, I would go to Moscow.
When do you think the war will end?
I think the war could end soon.
How soon?
Within weeks.
Weeks?
Так, ви можете тут подивитись. Так, от дивіться, що відбувається. Дивіться. І ви знаєте, там металургійна галузь дуже розвинута була, а потім вони все підірвали. Ну, ціни цьому реально немає. Ну, тобто, це великі гроші, дуже великі. І тому це треба захищати. І тому, якщо ми говоримо про діл, те, що хочуть американці, ну так давайте діл. Ми тільки за. Давайте діл. Немає. Ну, тобто, це великі гроші, дуже великі. І тому це треба захищати.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly, it's okay with me if he'd like to. And he would like to sign it together with me. And I understand that's a big deal, very big deal. And I think the American people, even if you look at polling, they're very happy because, you know, Biden was throwing money around like it's cotton candy. And it's a very big deal. Look, it could be $1 trillion deal. It could be whatever. But it's rare earths and other things. And look, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars on Ukraine and Russia fighting a war that should have never, ever happened. That's a war that would have never happened if I were president.
Зокрема, про які суми йдеться і чому там немає прямих безпекових гарантій США.
Ця угода може бути великий успіх мати або тихенько пройти. А великий успіх, я вважаю, залежить від нашої розмови з президентом Трампом.
And I said, can we send out an email to everyone just saying what did you get done last week?
Well, I'm not going to make security guarantees beyond very much. We're going to have Europe do that because it's in, you know, we're talking about Europe as their next door neighbor.
Supplies mainly for quarantine. We're watching it. We put out a post.
He's a very smart guy. He's a very cunning person, but I've dealt with some people that I've dealt with some really bad people. But I will tell you, as far as this is concerned, you have to understand, he had no intention, in my opinion, of settling this war. I think he wanted the whole thing. When I got elected, we spoke, and I think we're going to have a deal. I can't guarantee that. You know, a deal is a deal. Lots of crazy things happen in deals, right? But I think we're going to have a deal.
Scott and I are the best people together to do that. So this is joint. This is the exact.
Yeah, he will. He's going to have to. And I think, I believe that because we got elected, that war will come to an end. And I also believe if we didn't get elected, if this administration didn't win the election by a lot, that war would go on for a long time, and he would want to take the whole thing. Thank you very much. Pulitzer Prize.